Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we've got Jamie Harrison, who you may have seen on a podcast that's been out recently. Jamie, please introduce yourself. What do you do? Where are you from?
I don't know, he's Cilla Black or some shit.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. I model my whole presenting style off, not Cilla Black. It was the one that Paul O'Grady, but when he was a woman.
Oh,
Lily Savage.
That's the one.
Lily Savage.
Yeah.
That's showing my age. Anyway.
But yeah, so I run Elevate Agency, I guess founder, CEO of Elevate Agency. So that's it's like an all-in-one business package really. We build fitness apps, or we call it a platform, but essentially it's an app completely bespoke to each individual. And then we run a lot of back-end services to make it successful. High-ticket services, low-ticket, customer services, ads, email marketing, strategy, everything that you need to make that platform or app a success is what we do. Yeah.
To build your business out and out.
That's
basically.
it. Fitness business in a box or something, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Always sells well, that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You have to do no work, it's dead quick.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. So you particularly, it's more set up for people with larger followings, this particular offer that you do.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So like I would say, well, it depends on the strength of the following. So, I mean, we've got people with 30K followers doing, which is still quite substantial, right? But doing like upwards of 35,000 a month on a low ticket offer. So it can work low ticket, but yeah, so we predominantly work with people with big followings. We do have a lot of people come in with lower followings because they know what we do with the big people. So they know they can learn some stuff. And then we provide done for you or done with you services, dependent on the business size, if that makes sense.
Yeah, depending on the level.
Yeah, so like if it's just someone a little bit smaller, you would learn the techniques that some of these bigger guys we do done for you, and we would kind of do it with you and coach you. So that's kind of where we're at, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, yeah. So when someone comes in for you, because you run, like, obviously we're predominantly high ticket. We pretty much only run high ticket until clients get in the silly figures, and then we run low ticket as like an ad liquidator.
Yeah.
But you cherry pick, like different things depending on the person, right?
Yeah, so we will make a decision, like part of the sales process really. So when we get on the sales call, we'll look into their business, obviously as you would, like where it's at. And then we would probably make recommendations on call one, because we do a 2-part close, but on call one, we would make recommendations on what we believe would be right for their business as we see it right now. And then when they actually kind of come on board, client success will make the decision with them. So we'll build low and high ticket for everybody, right? Because you never know. I mean, there's some people on platform with 4,000 followers doing 7K a month on low ticket. So it's like with not a lot of work that they have to do other than content. So, so we'll build low and high for both. And then early on in the process though, we will decide this is your predominant area of focus when you launch. And if it's high ticket, this is what you're going to need to learn. Here's step 1, step 2, step 3, attend these calls. And then we kind of put a plan in place with them on that. If they're going to launch low ticket, then we'll kind of build towards that, if that makes sense. So it's all person to person dependent.
But so I think what would be really helpful for the PCs that are watching this is, what are the considerations that you make between which is the main offer that you drive? Right.
So in the first instance, it's probably following. So like those with lower followings, in my opinion, and probably definitely yours as well, is like start with high ticket, because that's going to be the easiest way. High ticket or like mid ticket, like dependent on where your cutoff point is.
What you call high ticket, yeah.
Exactly. But high ticket or mid ticket, because like it's going to be the easiest way, because everyone's got this figure of 10K in their heads, because it's from anyone in a kind of standard job or working PT or anything like that. That's the kind of figure. Or when you get 7K plus, it's like kind of life changing at that point, right? So it's like to get to 10K on a mid to high ticket offer, it's only a few clients, whereas to get to 10K on something that's 50 a month is 200 clients, right? So it's how easy can you get those 200 clients versus how easy can you get those, 10 clients at a grand or whatever, So in the first instance, it's going to be following size, and then like, cross-reference that with engagement really. And those with a lower following really typically we would push towards a mid to high ticket offer. Those with a bigger following, again, dependent, they've got their pick really. It depends how much work they want to do, right? Because we know that we can we know that on a high ticket offer with someone with a big following, we can do them 10 grand a day. So it's like on high ticket. Would they do that on low ticket straight away? Maybe not, but we find that high ticket, when you're trying to just do it organic, can be a bit volatile, like month to month. And whereas low ticket, once you've built that up, it's really stable, really stable. So, and also,
I guess a lot of them maybe don't need the cash as quickly. Like that would maybe be a consideration that you make, right?
That's true.
It's high ticket. Do you need cash in the bank? Like, has this strung you out already? Do we need to put some money in your pocket?
Yeah.
Cool. Do high.
Yeah.
Get a good set of money and then run the low ticket off the back.
Yeah, exactly. That's why a few of the people who come on with us, so, when we're building their platform out and all that kind of stuff, and all their back end and teams, it takes us about 8 weeks. But we start everyone pretty much with, right, you want to do high ticket, right, we'll set this up for you. This is what you're going to do. And you'll have some strategy meetings on it. You'll get trained on what you need to do. And then we kind of help you go away and do it. So that's for some people, because we don't want people having this period of time with no revenue. So we want to help them straight away. So that is a consideration. And then back to them, people with the larger followings, it's all about the level of work and commitment they want. If they want little commitment and they just want to carry on being a content creator, which is like not there's anything wrong with that. That's great for us because it means it brings the leads in and the business. But yeah, if they want just content work, then low ticket. If they want content and they want to get their hands a bit dirty and get involved, and although we do the coaching and the sales, it's like you're still going to have some client interaction because no one's going to want to pay $2,000 to work with said influencer and never speak to them. So they're going to have to do some kind of client engagement,
Yeah. What typically do you ask them to do?
So like, if you're like someone doing high ticket with us with a big following, and we're doing sales and fulfillment for you, we'll run the check-ins, we'll run the sales calls, obviously, we'll run the kind of education program, but we would expect like, when they're paying like 2K for a package or something, they're going to want, it's Facebook group is what, in our experience, not what they want. They want like phone number. Do you know what I mean? Or we offer that because that's really enticing. Yeah. It's like, I can get Jason Calambe's number, or I can get Stacey Irvin Jr.'s number, or whatever. And it's like they have a business phone and we do WhatsApp groups. So it would be kind of engaging in there and kind of keeping people motivated and responding to certain comments in there.
They've got to be able to actually have one-to-one interaction with them.
Like, and the people aren't rude. They respect the person's time as well. They don't like bell them up. And then like one Zoom call a week, really, with all the clients, just to do a Q&A, because they want that kind of. And obviously, when it comes to like re-signing them at the end of the program, if they've not had any kind of interaction with the person, then they're not going to do it, no matter what result they've got, because it would almost seem like a missell. Whereas, if they're having that interaction and they're truly caring about that individual, which the guys do, then it's easier to re-sign people as well.
And that's obviously much more cost effective on the back end, right?
Yeah, massively. So, I mean, a lot of these guys are fortunate enough they don't have to run ads. Yeah. So it's not like
it's fully like.
Yeah, it's like, they're going to make 100 grand. It's 100 grand minus the percentage that we take. But it's like, so it's, in terms of cost effective, it's not like we're offsetting any cost by re-signing someone. It's simply just stacking.
Because we would at that level, like obviously if we were taking one of our clients that was potentially maybe doing 20 organic and wanted to scale to like 50 or 60, the re-sign for us is massive because we're probably going to pay 20% of ticket price. That's if we get it right. Maybe up to 30% of ticket price to acquire the client.
Yeah.
So, and then, if you've got a closer, if you're doing that yourself, that's 10%.
Yeah.
So like there's 40% there that, on the front end, you keep them on the back end.
Yeah.
You're almost like you're taking that 40% back.
Exactly. So I think, it's less of a concern for some of these bigger guys, just because, especially if their page is still going like this, because if their page is still like skyrocketing, they'll never run out of leads until their page starts to plateau. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So they're in a fortunate position that way. But that's obviously when they're working with us, they have that low ticket option as well. So if we were going to run ads, we'd actually run them. I mean, it depends what our area of focus is. For some people, we'd run lead form, set a sales call. But then for sometimes, we'd literally run the ad direct to sale on the low ticket, bring them in as a recurring revenue customer. They really enjoy the experience, they enjoy the community, and then upsell. You know? So, because that would be the first place that then you start posting about your VIP package.
And this is really interesting because this is what we would particularly do with a client that had reached that after moving through the ladder. So it's like almost they just kind of go in at the deep end
because they've got this like established kind of audience, you know what I mean, and they've built that up over time.
Because that's why we do high ticket we do high ticket because I believe personally it's the easiest A to B point of getting yourself out of that revenue hole to where you've actually got finance in the business and you've got, a steady 10 plus and money to reinvest.
Yeah.
Then at that point, you can really do what you want. It depends on your appetite.
Yeah. I think I think high ticket is like, for me, I mean, we just started technically mid-ish ticket and we did low ticket click and buys back in the day, but high ticket is where, we literally made our millions like in high ticket. So it's like, that's the route that I would go down, even though we build low ticket for some.
Yeah.
It's
you got to have that flavour for people.
It's just having that flexibility in the business. I mean, everything centers around the platform that we would build people anyway. And it's like, how do you want to package this? Do you want this to be part of your high ticket? Well, it can be a part of both.
Yeah.
Realistically, why something becomes high ticket, in my opinion, is the level of accountability and certainty that someone's going to hit a goal.
Agreed, yeah.
So because some people, like, that's what trainers sometimes don't understand. It's like, yeah, but if I'm using the app or the platform for high ticket and I'm using it for low ticket, like, what's the difference? I'm like, well, when someone comes in as just using the platform, it's like, you're not there every step of the way making sure that they hit them goals. That's why it's low ticket, because there's a lower likelihood of them achieving success. Whereas I imagine that the pretty much 100% of the people who come onto a high ticket program make the progress that they pretty much want to make from, in a health standpoint.
Yeah.
Because you are there as a coach every step of the way, right?
Or even not, like, no one falls through the cracks.
Exactly.
No one just gets lost and was like, oh, yeah, I paid for that thing, but I never really did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they know they've not done it.
Yeah.
Like, if they disengage from it, it's a choice that they've made and they've made it with a hole in the pocket.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where the difference is. So, yeah, when building those businesses, it's like, we'll build both, and then where's your predominant area of focus? And it can switch.
Yeah.
People switch it up. The whole, I'm looking for 5 people, I'm looking for 10 people. If you're doing that every day, it's like,
dies, doesn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
What advice would you give to, say there was I think the best people that I think would get value from that would be, say, like, people that have got into fitness, they've started growing on Instagram, they don't particularly have a coaching program yet, but they started to grow a following.
Yeah.
Because we have like conversations with quite a lot of people, like, 17, 18, 19, 20K. They do the supplement haul every month, they get the supplements from bulk and stuff like that. But they haven't really monetized that into a proper audience, especially the TikTok lot. What advice would you give to them?
For starting their business?
Yeah.
So if they're already, first thing I would do is like set a type form up, literally, like set a type form, connect it to Calendly, have that integrated with Zoom. That's your first one, so that people can just book in as and when they want. And then I would go on, dependent on the number of kind of leads coming through that. If you've got a high number of leads coming through that, you want to service them as soon as possible. So if you are in that rapid growth phase, like, you know yourself, you need to get on that lead straight away and get them on the call within, we typically try and do 48 hours, but
yeah, we're 2 or 3 days max, and that's only over a weekend.
Yeah, really. Exactly. So we get them on the call within 48 hours, set them, make sure they show up, and take every single call, because that's the only way you're going to get better at sales, is by doing as many as possible. So maybe not like, we were fortunate enough when we started with millions of followers. It was like we had this 15 question thing, and we would try and knock people out of the questionnaire at different stages, like, even saying like, what's your earnings, and then, it's a minimum investment of, and, and how much you're willing to spend. And the lowest one was, 400 a month. And that would like knock people out. I wouldn't do something like that if I was just starting and I had a growing following. I would keep a very, very simple, because someone's going to drop off your lead form at every question. You're going to have a percentage drop off at every question. So keep it 3, 4 questions, 5 max, and just get all them leads on the phone. And just try and sell them, because you're actually going to learn down selling, right?
Yeah.
Like, have something there, like, even if it's like a PDF ebook-y type thing that you can sell for 50 quid, so that you don't feel like you're wasting your time on the call.
Product suite.
You know what I mean? And then, but then just take every call and go for it that way. Then you're going to want a DM strategy. If your page is growing, you're going to have decent story viewers. Use the engagement tools, obviously engage with people who are engaging. But one strategy that works really well for people is actually looking at who's viewing their story and getting all those people in conversations. I'm sure, like you do the same with your guys, and that's how I would start. And DM communication, people are like, "What's the script?" There kind of isn't one. It's like just talk to people. I would like we use we've got DM flows set up, and it's like there's certain points, some markers that you would want to hit,
so you don't end up squirreling down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. And like just like I think I did a script on one of my pieces of content. It's like I would go through it like this, and this is how I would do it. And again, just speak to as many people as possible in the DM, because again, you're only going to get better by speaking to more people. So that's what I would do if I start. Get them on the phone, close them. I wouldn't even worry about having the product perfect until you've signed your first person.
Especially when if you're getting paid, you're getting paid what you think is a decent amount for it. You've only got 5 clients.
Yeah.
It's not that tough, is it?
It's not,
you can ring them every day if you really want to.
Exactly. I mean, you could give a great frigging service when you've got like 5, 10, 20 clients.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? On your own. And you still could do the sales calls and stuff.
For sure.
And the DM and
up to 30, I think you're laughing.
Yeah.
25 to 30, I think is really manageable. I think once you get into the 40s, and then I think that's when you start into outsourcing. Really.
I think you're a better place to comment on that than I am, because
you guys get through that day two.
Well, we just the first thing I did was got a coach, even when we had like 5 clients, just because. And it's a fortunate position that we were in, because we had that many leads coming through that my attention had to be on appointment setting and sales. So it was like,
why?
Right.
I know why, but
so one thing that I ask everybody who works with is, where's your greatest value to the business? And at the time, mine was appointment setting and sales, because every call I was on was a potential 1,600 quid. So if I was sat there for an hour doing a bespoke program, that's 3,200 quid that I could have missed out on, based on me closing 100% of those 2 calls. But that's what I would say to everybody. And I think when you're first starting out with lower following, your value's everywhere, and it kind of has to be. But fortunately for me, I wasn't in that position, because we had the eyeballs and someone else was doing the content. So my value was calls, and I could get someone else on because there's loads of coaches out there who would do it, and work for you.
That's it. That's one of the things that we say is it's much easier to get good coaches than it is to get good sales. And it's much cheaper to get good coaches than it is good sales as well.
Totally agree.
Like, we get people, can I get a closer? I'm like, bro, you're doing 10 grand a month. Like, yeah. I'm like, the closer will want that. Yeah. Your closer's going to take all your revenue, or else you'll get a shit closer.
Yeah.
Like, your best area might not be closing, but you're best served in the business at this point closing. Yeah. Because there ain't no replacement. Yeah. And there's lots of coaches.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta go super high ticket to get unless you got loads and loads of leads, I would go super high ticket to get a closer, because do you know what I mean?
They're not gonna look at it. You're gonna be like, what? You're gonna 400 quid? I'm gonna get 40 quid a close.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that. I can go sell a fucking tech package for 19 grand B2B.
Yeah, so if we've got a closer on, it's like $1,000 a close. Do you know what I mean? And that's fine for us because of the ticket price of our B2B. But I think B2C closing, do it all yourself if possible.
For sure. Or you've got to factor that in and get a bigger ticket to entice the right people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When I said on the podcast that every time I made comments about bigger businesses, I was always wrong. So now I've shut up. Price point was one. Fuck, how do they charge that much? And I'm like, oh, they have to. Oh, right. Yeah, no, now I get it now.
Do you know what, mate? I used to look at business as well. I don't know whether you did the same, but I was like, we were selling when we even you can scale all the way back to us doing 20 quid ebooks. So how does someone do it for 200? And then we started selling these and then we were doing 30 quid a month or 40, 50 quid a month or whatever on a recurring subscription. So how does someone charge? I was like, I didn't even know high ticket was a thing. It probably wasn't really a thing back then. It probably was in America, but and then we started charging somehow 1,600. And even at that point, you're like, how does someone charge 10 grand? Yeah. And now our minimum buy-in's 11. So it's just, I think just learn as you go, and your mindset just changes as you get better, more experienced.
Perfect. And for the people that are just finding this on YouTube, where can they find you?
So Instagram is Jamie_R Harrison, and then any one of my brothers or business partners, just search Lewis Harrison, Owen Harrison, or Joss Mooney. and then Elevate Agency will pop up on everyone's profile.
Someone will message you.
Yeah, someone
will get you.
DM you.
Just get in the web. They'll do the rest.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to really, really scale a coaching business and you've started growing a large following, definitely listen to Jamie's advice there. That was golden. If you've got any comments about any of that, please leave them below and we'll try and get him to answer some of them if there's any interesting ones. And we'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. You know what? We've done this the other way around today. So we filmed the podcast first, we've done the YouTube second, and I forgot what I was supposed to do. So subscribe below, hit the bell notification, and that'll tell you when the next video is out.